Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Zipnewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. And I know it's been an absolute moment since I've been live, but let's just jump right into it because there is so much going on and I really don't want to bury the lead here. But listen, if you hold cryptocurrency on FTX and you've participated with any kind of trading going on over there, just know that you should not open that app at all. They're warning people. Listen, it could have like backdoors and malware and Trojans and stuff. So just please don't open up your FTX on your phone, on your computer, however it is that you once had gotten into FTX. Just leave it alone, wait for everything to move forward, fill out the necessary documentation that you have to fill out when the bankruptcy goes ahead, because you don't want to be hacked in the interim, because FTX is now hacked. Like, there's probably a little less than $1 billion that have been hacked out of there. They have now moved the rest of the assets over into cold storage, so hopefully that won't happen again. But number one, that's what they should have done immediately. Now, why did it get hacked? Well, apparently there was a backdoor coded into FTX, and people are thinking, maybe that's the way that Sam was able to move assets between FTX and Alameda and go unnoticed, right? How could they do this without somebody noticing that all of these transactions were taking place? It makes sense that there was some kind of backdoor for him to use in order to kind of funnel assets from one place into another and try to smooth everything over. I'm just wondering why there just isn't a little more extra blame placed at the feet of CZ, right? Because it really was that tweet that was like the shot heard around the world, because he put out a tweet saying, hey, listen, I'm about to dump my FTT tokens because I'm really concerned about the value of them. And then, well, we know what kind of transpired from there. So if you are an FTX holder, you know, what can I say? Here we are. Is this a time where we need to start to consider, at the bottom of the market, maybe still is not in? So many times we have small pumps in the cryptocurrency market, and then everybody's like, alas, the bull market is here. We go up from here. And so many times I've said, no, this is not, we're not going to have a V-shaped recovery in cryptocurrency. It is going to be the long, slow crawl back to recovery. Just because you have a couple of good days in cryptocurrency does not mean that the market is righting itself and we're all going to be good again. Our assets are going to go slingshotting back to their previous values, and that's that. No, it's definitely going to be the long, slow crawl. And there's just no way of sugarcoating this. This is really bad for cryptocurrency. TradFi right now, traditional finance, is pointing their finger at us saying, see, we told you cryptocurrency is nothing but a Ponzi scheme. It's an unregulated desert bastion full of schemers and scammers, and you need to stay out of it. So this looks really bad, really, really bad for cryptocurrency. And it's affecting the rest of the market the way that Terra Luna's collapse affected the market. This too is affecting the market because they had their tentacles into everything. They had assets in 130 different companies. So this is going to be one of those collapses that has a very long reach. And of course, we've seen it all throughout the cryptocurrency markets. Just when we thought we hit rock bottom, just when we thought we had Bitcoin, the bottom maybe be at like 20,000, 19, 20,000. Bitcoin dipped down into the 16,000 areas. Now, where are we right now? In the 17,000 for Bitcoin. So it's definitely going to be the long, slow crawl to recovery. I just want to prepare you for this. Now, people are saying, who is to blame for all of this? Are influencers to blame? And who's to influencers? How can any influencers be blamed for this? Now, there were a lot of channels that were sponsored by FTX. Of course, I was not one because, I'm a small little peanuts channel. FTX is not going to sponsor me. But that's not to say that I wouldn't have taken a sponsorship from FTX. Like, their reputation was great. Sam Bankman-Fried, I don't even know how many committees he testified in front of talking about cryptocurrency fair regulation. And I believe that is what put a mark on him. People like CZ Binance, people like Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, they didn't like him because he talked a lot about, maybe it's time to regulate the space a little bit, find some kind of fair regulation. And everybody say, you can't do fair regulation for cryptocurrency. There's no such thing as a little bit of regulation. They're going to come in here and take over, and there goes DeFi, just everything that we wanted for DeFi, which would be people being able to transfer money and not have to answer for it. Who are we sending to? We didn't want to be inhibited by any kind of regulations. That's just going to wipe that all away. It's like, you can't be a little bit pregnant. There's no such thing as a little bit of regulation. They're going to go all crazy. So he really was not making friends in that sphere. Listen, hey, I am not sticking up for Sam Bankman-Fried at all, because what he has done is catastrophic. We still don't know where this is going to end. And certainly he's no friend of mine. He's no friend in the space right now. And we're not even exactly sure if it wasn't him that did the hack. Now, they're, a backdoor into the FTX, maybe to move the funds around. But was it him that actually made off with the cryptocurrency? We don't know. But if it wasn't him, what he needs to do is stand up, do some kind of press conference and say, hey, look, this happened on FTX. I was not the one that did the hack, and I'm going to do everything I need to do to track down who took the money, how we can get the funds back to the investors, and let's go from here. Let's try to pick up the pieces from here. There are people saying that, okay, like Kraken, they moved some portion of the cryptocurrency over to Kraken, and Kraken is saying, hey, we know who this person is, or at least who the address is, and can we go from there? So what was it, SBF? We just don't know what happened here, but let's just give a short little history on exactly what happened. How did this start? Where did we go wrong? How did this happen? How are we going to get out of this? And what's the future in cryptocurrency? So going back to 2019 is when Alameda Research Group was founded by Sam Bankman-Fried. He wound up owning like 90% of Alameda Research Group. He had started it with a gang of his friends from MIT and Jane Trading. And then a few years later, he founded FTX. Now, FTX, CZ Binance decided to make an investment. He bought a $100 million stake into FTX because he felt like, you know what, let me fund FTX. Let's give a little bit of something to cryptocurrency, give it a little bit of name, make people confident in cryptocurrency. And perhaps this is the way forward, the future of finance. So he had that stake. Now, the problem with that was he had this $100 million stake, and FTX wanted to get licensed in Gibraltar. Right now, Gibraltar said, in order to be, licensed over here, we need information on your investors. And CZ was a big investor at that time. So FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, reached out to CZ, like, hey, we need some information on you. We have to fill out all this paperwork. And one of the things they want to know is like, who do you bank with? How did you get your wealth? Small things like that. What you have to do in order to be licensed. And CZ was not having it. He's like, nope, not interested at all with filling out this paperwork. So he was kind of dodging his calls and really wasn't getting back and filling out the paperwork. And Sam Bankman-Fried at that point was like, I've had enough. I want to get this license and be done with it. And he had to buy out CZ of that $100 million investment that he had made into FTX. But now that $100 million investment has now turned into $2 billion. So he had to purchase that from CZ. And the way that he did that, Of course, a great big portion of that was paid in the FTT token, which of course is the token of FTX. So this whole time, CZ has been sitting on all of these FTT tokens for years, as a matter of fact. And we know earlier in the month, CZ basically had put out a tweet saying, you know what? I think I'm going to dump my FTT tokens. I'm a little concerned about what I've heard, the stability of the FTT token, and I'm going to basically dump my hundreds of millions of dollars worth of FTT tokens. Well, what do you think is going to happen? When people hear that, of course, that is going to trigger a huge sell-off, because if somebody is selling that great amount of FTT tokens, it's of course going to plunge the price of that token. So people were rushing to dump their FTT tokens, and of course, it just came precipitously down. The price kept dumping and dumping. Now people are getting worried about the FTX exchange itself. So now people are trying to get their assets off of FTX. Basically, like in the Great Depression, how there was runs on the bank. That's exactly what happened with FTX. Now, initially, Sam Bankman-Fried's like, you know what? Okay, I think we have enough assets to cover these withdrawals. But what happened was they were backed in a corner because they were looking at $6 billion worth of withdrawals in 3 days. On a normal day, FTX would sustain about $10 million. People taking off about $10 million from the exchange, that they could have cover, that they could handle. But $6 billion in 3 days, that's a lot of money to be taking off. And that was something that he could not handle. He was in, backdoor talks with CZ to possibly purchase FTX to cover all of these withdrawals. And CZ did clarify that. He said, yes, that indeed happened. And he decided that he needed to do some due diligence. So he was looking over the paperwork and he felt like, you know what? Something really fishy is going on here, and I'm just not into it. So he releases the tweet. Everybody knows the tweet. Simple tweet. Sad day. I tried, with the crying emoji. Basically saying, you know what, I wanted to help the people of FTX, but unfortunately it is so riddled with holes and liabilities. There's no way I can do it. So then that was that. Then FTX right away ran into bankruptcy, and here we are now. Now, once the bankruptcy went through, of course, now the hack happens, where there's hundreds of millions of dollars, probably almost $1 billion taken out of FTX from that backdoor. So what do you do from there? Is he on the run? People are saying that this guy flew to Argentina. He has denied that he has flown to Argentina. He's denied that he's on the run. He's saying that he's in the Bahamas, but you just don't know. So once again, if you're just tuning in, it's very important that if you have FTX, to not launch the application. Don't go on the website, because there's a possibility that there's malware and Trojan horses. You don't want to deal with that. You're not going to be able to get your cryptocurrency anyway. So just sit tight and wait until you can fill out the necessary paperwork that you're going to have to fill out whenever you're dealing with a bankruptcy. And let me get to some comments, because it's been a second since I looked over here. Good evening, Nick. Thank you so much for popping by the channel. Thank you. Appreciate you. Antonio, hello. Welcome to the channel. So let's see what Nick says. Hey, Sam, you can fool all the people part of the time, or you can fool some of the people all of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. This is very, very true. Crow keeps going down, getting worried on my investment with them now. You know what? I hear you and I understand. And this is what a prolonged bear market looks like. I purchased more crypto.com native token, the Kronos, earlier in the week when it hit 8 cents. And I was like, of course, I'm going to buy more for 8 cents here. So I bought a bunch more of crypto.com. Now, they're one of those exchanges that they've agreed to release their proof of holdings. right? They're willing to show, okay, we have all of these customers' investments, and here they are. Binance is going to do that. Coinbase, they're trying to get Coinbase on board with doing that as well, but they're not being as cooperative. They just want to go the way of saying, your money is safe with us, trust us. Now, what's the upsetting thing? I mean, like, so terribly upsetting about FTX is the fact that it's a cryptocurrency exchange. You can go on there and buy and sell cryptocurrency. That's what an exchange is supposed to do. They're not supposed to use the cryptocurrency that you've purchased to loan out to somebody else, like Alameda. They're supposed to hold your stuff. That's the job of the exchange. Now, when you're putting your cryptocurrency on a platform, let's say like Celsius, you do that with the understanding of, okay, they're using my cryptocurrency to do something, and that's how they're able to generate yield. That's why you put your tokens there, to earn some yield. You understand that they have to do something to make that yield, and there's a gamble there. This is an investment. Investments don't always work out. They either do work out or they don't, right? But you don't expect that with an exchange. You expect that you're purchasing stuff on there and that they're generating their revenue from your exchanges. Like when I'm doing my Bitcoin challenge, where every day I'm buying a little bit of Bitcoin every single day. And let's say if it's 20 bucks, 20 bucks every day on crypto.com, they charge me 75 cents to buy that 20 bucks worth of Bitcoin. That's how you expect these exchanges to make their money. By the exchanges, their little fees. But Sam, because he has this whole, I can't even explain it. He's calling himself an effective altruist. He wanted to waive a bunch of fees. Of course, like Binance has the waived fee. If you're purchasing Ethereum or Bitcoin, they don't charge you anything. They wanted to do something very similar to that. Well, you're a business. I expect when people have a business, I expect them to charge money for their business. You can't be an altruist all of the time. That's not the way it works. Altruism, by the way, is a philosophy where you literally sacrifice yourself to help somebody else. That's the definition of altruism, sacrificing yourself for somebody else. So in other words, when rent time comes around, you're not paying your rent because you give your money to somebody else so that they can pay their rent. Like, altruism doesn't make sense. That's why they're calling it effective altruism. They want to find a way to help people that's very beneficial to that person, but won't hurt you. It doesn't work. Okay. I want to show you guys something. This little book is called Atlas Shrugged. It is written by Ayn Rand, brilliant philosopher. And of course, she's no longer alive, but everybody should read Atlas Shrugged. Everybody should read it. Get this altruism out of your head. If you're a business person, you have to generate money. You just have to do it. You have bills to pay. You have employees to pay. You have overhead. But instead, this effective altruist has now gone bankrupt. How the hell did that help anybody? It helped nobody. So getting back to William's statement, do you see how quickly I can go from one place to another? I hear you. I understand that you're upset. And we all need to just take a step back and think for a second. Is this the very bottom of the market? Or is this where I sell everything and stable coin up? And then you have to worry, William, what stable coin am I going with? Because so many of these stable coins are losing their peg. It seems to be that the most stable coin is the USDC. I think the one by Circle, which is supposedly backed by the dollar. Like Tether is supposedly backed by the dollar, but that's lost its peg a couple of times. So you don't really know who to trust, right? What do you do in this time? Do you wait for the market to go even lower, or do you stable coin up, ride out the rest of the bear market? Because we don't know how much longer the bear market is going to be. And is it going to continue to go down? Because during the bull market, everybody's getting rich. Everything's climbing, climbing, climbing. There's nothing you can't pick that wasn't a winner, right? Every single YouTube channel that was based on cryptocurrency during the bull run got tens of thousands of new subscribers like every week. Every month, these guys are getting a bunch of new subscribers because it's bull market. Everybody wants to hear the good news and subscribe and hear what you got to say. But it's a little more difficult in the bear market to be a YouTuber about cryptocurrency because there's really no good news. There's no good news. So you have a couple of different things that you can do with your cryptocurrency. And these are just facts. You can either one, sell it all, withdraw your money, get it back into your banking account, wherever it came from, get it back in there and just wait out this bear market. Number two, you can put it into a stable coin. Okay, and move that off into a cold storage wallet, whatever you want to do, wait for that to ride out. Or you can hold your cryptocurrency and not do anything. Just wait it out totally. Or you can continue to buy these crypto tokens at a very reduced price. But with that philosophy, you have to understand that this very reduced price could be reduced even further and further and further, like crypto.com. At its all-time high, it touched $1. Right now, it's 8 cents, right? Is it 8 cents right now? It keeps bouncing between 8 and 10. What do? Do you buy more here? Like I bought more crypto.com, but that's my philosophy. I'm holding and there's nothing really that I'm selling right now. I just continue to DCA because when the bull market was raging, I really didn't invest that much money. Not that much money. I should have sold more. Of course, hindsight is always 2020, right? We should have sold more, but we didn't. So the only option now for you are those different options. And you have to decide what's best for you. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? But getting back to my earlier thought, what's up, Vito? Thank you so much for popping by. Ooh, I don't know if I can say this name. I don't think I will. So this lady's not sure if she got backdoored. Nobody knew. Well, we all know we got backdoored, right? Not your keys, not your coins. Very true. Apparently, he has been caught and detained before escaping to Dubai. Is that true? They picked this dude up and he was about to go to Dubai. That SOB. Um, uh, Listen, if you are on FTX, there is no doubt that everyone was backdoored. That's the only way that they were moving tokens from FTX to Alameda without being noticed, without the transfers being highlighted, and some of the employees saying, hey, why are all of these FTT tokens going over to Alameda? Now, let's talk about Alameda. And, the reason that I brought up this effective altruism that Sam had is because he wanted to be known as the savior of cryptocurrency. Now, it all starts, let me take you way back to May when the Terra Luna collapse happened, and then everything else happened after that. Three Arrows Capital going bankrupt. They bankrupted a lot of people. We had problems with Voyager. Everybody that was involved with Terra Luna got hurt. Anybody that had loaned money to Three Arrows Capital because they were significantly leveraged. Look at Richard Hart. The number one thing that he says will get everybody wrecked are the 3 L's: ladies, liquor, and leverage. And he is so right. Sam wanted to help all of these people out. He wanted to bail out Voyager. He wanted to bail out all of these dying cryptocurrency platforms. And sometimes, when they say things are too big to fail, no. If you are not self-sufficient, if you cannot sustain your business, then you have got to die out. There's a reason why we need to let things fail. Like when they bailed out all of the banks in 2008 was a huge mistake. We should not have done that. If they over leveraged themselves, that was their decision. Their risk managers let all of those loans go through for mortgages. They should have been held accountable. But we bailed them out and we made them even bigger and bigger. And now they're definitely too big to fail because everything is so intertwined and just disgusting. So he wanted to bail out Voyager, which he did. Oh, my camera went out. Hold on. He also gave a whole big line of credit to another place, BlockFi. So now all of these other now they don't know what to do. BlockFi had to say, okay, now we were getting our money from them, so now we have to pause. You know, it's just terrible. And a lot of people are saying, well, maybe influencers are to blame because so many of the influencers, had those links in their description where you could join FTX and then, they get a little bit of a kickback. How are they to blame? Right? I don't think they're to blame. They were making a crap ton of money. People were making $50,000 a month being sponsored by FTX. And it's not like they had to talk about the FTX token. They had to make their video, and just for 30 seconds out of the video, even if their video was like 20 minutes long, for 30 seconds, all they had to do was say, hey, FTX has an exchange. It's a very reputable exchange. And boom, if you use my link below, I'll get a kickback and you'll get a kickback and we'll all be happy. Are those people to blame? No, not at all. They clearly said they're sponsored by FTX. You can't hold people responsible for the things that they advertise for. I mean, come on. If you had a Hertz rental car and that thing breaks down, are you going to be mad at Tom Brady because Hertz, let's go? You know that song? No, it's not his fault. That's Hertz company's fault. Got nothing to do with the people that they hire to speak about them. Period. So no, it's not influencers' fault. There's a lot of people that did get seriously hurt in FTX. Now, I know the average person that had their money in there, it sucks for everybody. It sucks for you. It sucks for me. Anybody that had any little bit of cryptocurrency on FTX, it's going to be the long, slow crawl. Of course, now we're very familiar with bankruptcies. Look at freaking Celsius. That thing is still going on. It's still happening. And it's been going on for months and months and months. And what are these people really going to get back in the end? Probably 25% of what they put on there. Now, I made a video saying that, and so many people got into the comment section, told me I was crazy. I didn't know what I was talking about. It would be cleaned up very quickly, and they would get so much more than just 25% of what they put. It's the long game. The long game will always prove you correct if you are. What happens down the road? And I called it, guys. I said it. And don't get me wrong, that's not something I'm happy about. I'm not happy that that happened with Celsius. I'm not happy that this happened with FTX. But whatever I had on there pales into comparison for all of the other people that had a significant amount of money on FTX and the people that personally invested in FTX. People like Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He invested a lot into FTX. There are people like I think the Ontario's Teachers Retirement Fund. They had a lot of money on there. A lot of people lost a lot of money, and it's really sad. It's really bad. And overall, it's bad for cryptocurrency in general, because the past couple of weeks, I was thinking maybe this is the bottom of the market. It's going to be a slow crawl back to where we once were, but at least maybe this was the bottom, because months ago I said, you know what? There's a chance Bitcoin could hit 10,000. I know that's not what you want to hear, but there's a chance that Bitcoin could go down to 10,000. And when Bitcoin was like at 18,000, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to rethink it. Maybe that was the bottom. Maybe we built from here slowly. It's going to be a slow climb, but maybe that was it. Now I am convinced there's a good chance that Bitcoin probably is going to go down to $10,000. So I've decided because I've had my investment strategy all along. And when the market was going down and down and down, and everybody was telling you to buy the dip, buy the dip here, I was saying, you know what? I think it's time to pump the brakes on the DCA game, on hitting the dips. I'm just gonna pump the brakes, wait off a little bit. Maybe if I was buying $50 every dip, maybe I'm gonna back off. I won't buy every dip, and I'll be really conservative with what I spend. Be spending like 10, $15 a dip. And that's how I've rode out this entire bear market, just buying very, very little to DCA my prior holdings. And that's what I've decided to do. This is my investment strategy. Yours can look very different. Do not do what I'm doing if you're not comfortable with it. You need to do what you need to do. And the longer that the bear market goes on, the lower it's going to go. And do you know why? People need their money. They need it. Freaking, I went to Walmart the other day. I buy stuff at Walmart that I would like, the stuff like Coke, paper towels, toilet paper, Red Bull, like all the stuff that I can get in like a nice big bulk thing without having to go to Sam's Club. And I spent almost $400 at Walmart, and I feel like I didn't get that much at all. Now, $400 is not a lot of money for me to spend, but it's a lot of money for the average person to have to spend at the grocery market every single week. It's a lot of money for them. And people are going to start running out of money. People are already out of money. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to need something. And let's say it's a husband and wife team together. Maybe I'm not, okay, maybe a husband and husband together, a wife and wife, or however PC you want to be. And the one partner holds a lot of cryptocurrency, and the other one turns to them and say, we need something. I know you got all those coins sitting there on that exchange, and we need the money here in our account. You need to sell that shit and move the money over to the account. Now, the other one's saying, oh my God, we can't sell it here. We've lost so much money. Like, no, this is where we should buy. Nope. We need the money now. I want you to sell it, put it into the account because we need to buy this, 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 and this. The lease is up. We got to renew the lease. We got to put down $5,000. We don't have it. But people will unfortunately have to sell the tokens that they've been holding this whole entire bear market because it's at crisis mode. Like, the inflation is absolutely insane and crazy. And I will reiterate, like I did for my last live stream, it is not the fault of the government that the inflation is the way it is. Now, before you freak out, because you guys know I'm very conservative, not socially, I'm not conservative socially. Bear in mind, if you watched any of the hearings going on in the Hill, these companies are factoring in their profits. You know, back in the old days when you did a business at the end of the year, you looked to see what your profits were. These people are factoring in profits with the price of goods. That's not supposed to happen. That's called price gouging, like the oil companies. The oil is not, price of gas should not be this high, but the oil companies have decided to just artificially inflate the prices to make it this high. No lie. I don't care. Listen, you can believe what you want to believe, but I think you should go and do your own research on certain things, especially this point, in order to get a better understanding of what is going on. It's crazy. And I believe that all of this stems from, you don't have to believe this, people pushing for higher wages. People want like a $15, $20 national minimum wage. It doesn't matter what the minimum wage is. I don't think the federal government should mandate a minimum wage. I think people should want to pay people a livable minimum wage, but I don't think it should be mandated. The man, back in the 70s, that was a saying, the man's going to hold you down. If the man knows that you're making $20 an hour now, do you think the man wants you to have $20 an hour? Or do you think he's going to take you by the ankles, hold you upside down, and shake every last penny out of you? That's what's going on. People are making more money, so they've raised the prices on everything across the board to make more money, because why should you have it? And if you think I'm kidding, you don't understand the greed of the corporations and how bad it is. It's horrendous. Horrendous. Nothing has changed in the oil and gas industry other than the prices. They've artificially inflated these prices on their own behalf. We're taking more oil out of the ground in the United States than we've ever done, ever. But we've decided to export it. Why don't we keep it here in the United States? Why are they offloading our oil? It pisses me off. Well, anyway, let's get back to cryptocurrency, because I can go on and on about corporate greed and how disgusting it is and how it's going to wind up losing, uh, beating the hell out of the. Thank you, Vito. I appreciate that. You're 100% right. This really did start with the collapse of Terra Luna. 100%. You are totally right. 3AC and Celsius Luna were taken out by FTX, and they will be. You know what? Oh, so funny that you say that, because this really is a big conspiracy theory. And I don't know if this is provable. I know that guy from BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong, he's all over the place. Like, that guy needs a freaking Valium. I'm worried about him. Have you seen his videos? He's up here. He's got a microphone like me. He's got the Shure SM7B. He's up there talking. He's constantly moving the microphone. Now, let me tell you something. Sam Bankman-Fried is a devil. He's the devil, people. You know what I'm saying? He's the devil. He's coming here to ruin cryptocurrency. He's coming here to ruin you. Like, I'm like, that somebody needs to hand him a Valium and just tell that guy to take it down a couple levels. Let's work it out. Don't get. And meanwhile, his face is all red and he's sweating all over the place. I'm worried he's gonna pop a vessel, that Ben Armstrong. But he said the same thing, that Sam Bankman-Fried did all of this. I don't think he's that smart. I'm sorry. I really don't think he is all that smart. It took a significant amount of wealth to be able to do that, and I don't think it was done by him. I know he's the youngest billionaire or whatever, but this was done in the Terra Luna thing was done in such a way that it had to be more than just Sam Bankman-Fried. It had to be a group of people grouping their monies together. And don't forget, Do Kwon had made a lot of enemies. Sam Bankman-Fried really wasn't one of them. A bigger enemy, I would say, would be CZ. Maybe CZ did all of this because he did this. Let's not forget, and in case you just joined me, I said at the beginning, I can't believe that more blame is not being pointed towards CZ. Now, I don't know if you want to call it blame because of everything, how it's transpired now, but he did start all of this by announcing that he was going to dump his FTT token and that he held hundreds of millions of dollars of it. So, of course, everybody ran to dump it, which caused the collapse of the FTT token. Now, if he wanted to do that in an ethical manner and not harm the people that had their cryptocurrency or investments in FTX, he could have begun to sell that token without announcing it, without dumping it all at once. He could have been selling his FTT position all freaking long. He's had it for years. He's had those FTT tokens just sitting there. Why do it like this? That's a big red flag for me that he did that. Because don't forget, these guys had a war of words on Twitter. Sam Bankman-Fried had put out a tweet because CZ was, saying about all of the committees that he was going to testify in front of about regulation on crypto, which these guys don't want. Sam Bankman-Fried sort of alluded to the fact that maybe CZ wouldn't even be able to come into the United States in order to testify on Capitol Hill, that maybe he's wanted or whatever. That set off CZ. Shortly thereafter is when he put out the tweet talking about how he's dumping his FTT position. So, do I think that that's possible? Listen, who knows, right? All of this shit's playing out like a movie anyway. This could be like the best movie plot ever if it was little old Sam Bankman-Fried. But you know what, JD? I just don't think that he's that smart. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think that he had the passion to take down all of those things, not him. If Bitcoin goes that low, I might trade in some of my alts to buy more Bitcoin. 100%. I hope it doesn't go that low though. John Thompson, what's up, my friend? Hello, Crypto Queen and everyone. I'm happy I didn't put any money into FTX. Good for you. Vito says at least Voyager didn't do anything illegal and just had stupid poor judgment. That is totally true. Like, listen, we don't know the stuff that's going to be coming out, right? Yeah, he's all over Twitter. And the funny thing about Ben, not that I know him on a personal level, I really don't, but he's all over the place saying, I saw this coming. Then why didn't you tell people to start? Why weren't you putting out tweets for months talking about you need to get your holdings off FTX? He probably would have taken a sponsorship from them. Numerous banks failed during the last two major financial crises, and the government didn't bail them out. WAMO being one, FDIC paid insured checking savings account holders as necessary. I was referring to the crash of 2008, where everyone got a bailout during that financial crisis. Loose lips sink ships. Did I say something? What did I talk about? Yeah, so definitely it all started with Terra Luna, right? We know that started it, then Three Arrows Capital, but what really killed it was the leverage, just like what's killed Alameda. They were leveraged to the hilt because they tried to bail out Voyager. They gave they gave lines of credit to BlockFi. They owned an 8% share in Robinhood. They bailed out Anthony Scare. Well, not so much of a bailout, but they own, or maybe it was a bailout. I don't know what kind of financial position Anthony Scaramucci's company was in. I think it's called Sky. What's the name of his thing? Sky something. I can't remember. They own 30% of them. Like, there's 130 different companies that FTX and Alameda own stakes in. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? In 2008, they let Washington Mutual fail. Oh, you know what? That could have been at the very beginning, because there was, at the very, very beginning, Lehman Brothers had failed. And they're like, that's it. We're not going to bail them out. And everybody was like happy that they didn't bail out Lehman Brothers. Then they started to get calls from people from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. They started getting calls from them saying, why are you letting these huge institutions fail? Like, what's up with that? You can't, you've let Lehman Brothers fail. What the hell? That's an old institution. So that's when they had to start to bail everybody out. But like, there was a lot of banks that were bought up and gobbled up. So it made these banks that were too big to fail, it made them even bigger. So were you saying this Washington Mutual failed? Why didn't they get their bailout? They were bailing out everybody. Mr. Akmalan 11111 FTX sponsored everyone. The MLB, Tom Brady, every YouTuber, financial so-called guru, FTX was bailing out the world. So even if people saw this coming, no one was going to be heard. The money was too great. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And that really should be the beauty of cryptocurrency. and blockchain, right? Transparency should be the go-to in this situation. None of this should have happened, but because it was on an exchange, you really don't see what's going on with the exchanges. When something is on the chain and you're able to look at it, it's a different situation, right? And it's so funny that you say that because SBF himself was in front of a committee talking about regulations and how it should be regulated, and that everything was open, and he talked about the 2008 collapse, and things were happening, people were over leveraged, and he wound up doing the exact same thing. He over leveraged himself, kept everything secret, was using holders' money as a shell game. As a shell game. When you put your money on an exchange, like I have a lot of holdings on crypto.com, on Coinbase, like all the major ones, right? Kraken, excuse me, not Kraken, KuCoin. I have some on Bitmart, but I have like the majority of stuff in MetaMask and my Trust wallet, things like that. But when you use an exchange, you trust that it's an exchange, that they're holding your cryptocurrency, that they're not using your coins to gamble or to leverage. That's supposed to be what happens with an exchange. When you use something like Celsius or like any of those other platforms where you put your cryptocurrency to work to earn you a yield, that's different. You understand that there's a chance that you're going to lose some of your money, but not a freaking exchange. That's that they did that with holders tokens and money is just it's disgusting. Let me put it this way. It's stealing. Let me just take out anything in your mind that's saying anything different. That's stealing, and he should go to jail because that's a thief. So this guy that was saying he was so moral and he wanted to be an effective altruist wound up being the biggest bank heister in the world. That's it. Period. So all of the good that you were hoping to do, with all of these freaking bailouts of Voyager and BlockFi and helping everybody out, and no, you wound up loading everybody's cryptocurrency into your beat up old Corolla and taking off with it. That's one of the things, right? Like he's like, "Oh, I'm Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm your normal average everyday dude. I wear t-shirts and I hang out in the Bahamas and we all live in a house together and we're roommates." And it was all very incestuous. We hear that everybody that was living in that house, it was like one big party, and they were all getting high and stuff and going to work a couple hours a day, and nobody was really minding the shop. Well, everybody was hanging out at the penthouse, getting high, fooling around. Nobody was minding the store, and look at everything that freaking happened. Well, there is one good piece of good news that is good for cryptocurrency. And this is so mean, you guys. Please don't think any worse of me. Jim Cramer said it's time to sell all of your cryptocurrency. Now I know what you're thinking. Right? Because it's Jim Cramer. And there's the running joke that whatever Jim Cramer tells you to do, if you want to win financially, do the exact opposite of what Jim Cramer says. And Jim Cramer's like, it's time to sell all your cryptocurrency because it only goes down from here. Do you remember a few weeks ago that guy was crying? He was crying. He was crying at the price of Facebook because he told everybody to, buy Facebook or buy Meta, actually. Buy Meta. Price is only going to go up from here. It was like $168 at the time. He's like, this is the time to DCA into Meta. This is a great investment. They're going to own the metaverse. And the next thing you know, he's on the TV. He's crying about how wrong he was. I was like, oh, Jim, you're Jim Tissue. I know that was mean. And no, I just happen to have a tissue. It was not a thought out prop. It was just handily there. But Jim Cramer is saying, sell all your crypto, get the hell out of the cryptocurrency market. Look what this is. It's bad. So we might start to go up. Who knows? This might be the bottom because Jim, he's always just so incredibly wrong. If we have another massive financial collapse in the real economy, he will be remembered as the Bernie Madoff of Ponzi schemes. You're so right. You are so right. What's up, Eddie? Welcome to the stream. D says SBF learned all these tricks from his previous employer, Market Maker. So true. Better get a DeFi wallet where you hold the keys. So true. Thank you, Eddie. Yes, please smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Oh gosh. Hi, Ponzi. You bodied me yesterday? So weird, so weird. I haven't really been around, but okay. That's Ponzi Slayer. The guy just doesn't like me. I don't know why. So that's the situation there. It's so very sad that people get hurt like this big time, because even though these multimillionaires are being hurt, people like Kevin O'Leary had a lot of money in there. Tom Brady had a lot of money. Some famous tennis player, like all of these greatly rich people, they got hurt. They got burned. The poor teachers union up in Ontario, they got burned. But when you think of like all of the other people that just regular people like you and I who have their hard-earned money on this exchange, thinking that it was just an exchange, that it wasn't a gamble. They could just buy their cryptocurrency there. And now this happens. It's terrible. Oh, Mr. Diamond Balls is in the town. Oh, look, he's got a nickname for SBF. Scam, bank run, fraud, finally gone. Single guy for you says, Jim Cramer told me in confidence to buy into the grilled cheese industry. Bye, 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 bye. That's so funny. Yep. Don't they have due diligence teams that get paid 6+ figures? D, it's so funny that you should bring that up, because the person that did they're known as risk assessors. The person that did their risk assessment was some kind of like 20-year-old giggly girl who doesn't understand algebra. She said she only uses very basic math and she hardly does any of that. And she really didn't understand risk assessment. So when you want to get away with something, right? Like if you are the manager of a bank and you're looking to embezzle money out of the bank, you want to get away with it free and clear, you don't want to raise any red flags, it would help if you're surrounded by idiots or fools that don't know what they're looking at when they're looking at the forms, the spreadsheets that come across their desk. It helps if they're just stupid, right? You can get away with all kinds of stuff if you surround yourself with stupid people. It seems like that's what they were doing. So apparently all of these people, a lot of them were people that he was friends with going back to MIT, then Jane, then they all graduated into Alameda. And from there, they just were all buds hanging out. But how much did they really know about blockchain? I mean, this guy was able to build a back door into FTX without anybody knowing, to get money out of there. Not only out of there to run away with, let me just be clear, we still don't definitively know that it was SBF that hacked FTX and took the money. We can surmise maybe that probably was him. Like how many other people knew about this backdoor? But that backdoor was also how he was able to funnel funds over into Alameda without any red flags getting raised. So of course, you surround yourself with people like that chick who just was we'll just put it this way. She did not seem to strike me as a young lady who was intellectually curious in any way. It seemed like she literally just wanted to get back to reading her Harry Potter books and dressing up like a woodsy nymph. If that's the right word, a woodsy nymph. It's strange. Did not read the Harry Potter books myself, but I caught a couple of the movies. They were okay. I took my niece and nephew to see them. I was referring to the Kevin O'Leary type people investing in FTX. My camera went out again because it's a Canon and it only goes live for like 28 minutes. Kevin O'Leary. I wonder how much money he lost in FTX. I'd love to know. I was referring. Oh, okay. I'm dying to know how much he lost on FTX because he had money in there too. He's one of those guys now that's screaming, you know what? Cryptocurrency, this is the TradFi people are going to be all over us now. This is what we did not need. If we want broad adoption of cryptocurrency, we want the average person to get involved with Bitcoin and be able to exchange money peer to peer using cryptocurrency. This was bad. This was really bad. You know what? I think I missed a comment up here. Somebody was asking me about my stance on terrarium. Now, I've not been, oh, here it is. Your thoughts on Terra. Well, Crypto Dirk, I've been like not doing videos lately. I took a break from Twitter. I took a break from YouTube just because it was good for my health to do it. And it's probably good for your health too. Like if you're getting so very stressed out with certain things to just, you know what, check out for a little bit and not focus on those things too much, do other stuff. But I don't know what's going on with terrarium. I do know I saw a tweet from Milton really being rather rude to Austin. No matter what Austin says, okay, he's an influencer that has a pretty big audience. He has a much bigger audience than Milton. A lot of people like Awesome Austin. Milton went after Awesome Austin, basically saying he didn't know shit about cryptocurrency until Dr. P schooled him and taught him everything he knows. Awesome Austin had his channel long before Terrarium launched, okay? So maybe Dr. P taught him a few things about cryptocurrency, I'm sure not everything, and just basically raked him over the coals. Like that, you are the CEO of a cryptocurrency that you're hoping is going to be a global cryptocurrency, and that's how you're conducting yourself? No, you shouldn't do that. That reflects poorly on you and your project, and it makes the other devs look stupid. Like the other devs need to pull this dude aside and be like, you need to chill the F out and stop going after people. This is not the reputation we want to have. Like it shouldn't be like this. Now, I don't know if Milton is like, you know what, CZ tells people off on Twitter. Elon Musk tells people off on Twitter. Why can't I just start telling people off on Twitter? Because I'm Milton. Yeah, exactly. Right. You're Milton. You're not CZ. You're not Elon. You're not any of these guys. You're still building. You're trying to build something. So I don't know if they're launching a new token. I hope that's not the case. You know, I know that they do have Terra Pay, which is meant to be like a peer-to-peer digital thing where you can send somebody money or you can receive money. But are they making a completely separate coin or token to work on Terra Pay? Is Terrarium not going to be the governing token of the Terrarium ecosystem? Because that's what I was led to believe when I initially invested into Terrarium, that the Terra token would inevitably be the Terra coin because they were building their own blockchain. And of course, the difference between a token in a coin. A token is a crypto project that rides on the back of another blockchain. But if you build your own blockchain, then you have yourself a coin. And we were led to believe that Terrarium was going to be the governing token of the whole Terra ecosystem. Whatever that ecosystem looked like. At the time, we didn't know there would be like this complete ecosystem with all of these different things. We knew there was going to be an exchange, right? A centralized exchange like crypto.com, like, dare I say it, FTX. This is another worry about when an exchange like this goes belly up, how it hurts everybody else. But like that, are we finding out now that they're going to be launching different cryptos? Is that what's going on? I don't know. By the way, CQ, there's an AMA on this Tuesday, if I remember correctly, for Terrarium. Okay, well, I definitely am going to listen to that AMA. And this time, the last AMA that I listened to with Terrarium, I actually didn't chime in. I just listened. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't want to speak. It was with Red Wave, who did a really good job with kind of reeling Milton in, keeping him short and to the point, and but what did the AMA do? Because all of the things that Milton said he would do in that last AMA, he didn't freaking do at all. He said he wasn't going to go and attack people anymore, and he's already attacked Ozzy Austin. He said any official announcements would be made directly from the Terrarium Twitter handle. That didn't happen. He also said that if they were going to sell any great amount of Ethereum out of the marketing wallet again, that he would let people know. That didn't happen. So I would like to get on the AMA and kind of press him on all of these different points. Like, hey, remember the last AMA? Why didn't you do that? Yeah, I do need to listen to it because I need to figure out what is going on. And I do have I have a lot of holdings in Terrarium. I have it on MetaMask, and I also have some on Bitmart because I wanted to be able to get reflections on Bitmart, but I'm just upset. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name here. City A Bencherif. Is that supposed to stand for something? City A Bankriff? I don't know. What do you think about the Luna One debacle? The Run guys promoted this scam for months. See, I never did that launch finally because there was like some kind of there was a pre-launch that was going on, right? But I don't know if that thing ever even launched. I do know that there was a scam Luna One that had launched, and one of my subscribers is like, "Oh, I invested into Luna One." I was like, "Ooh, are you sure it's not a honeypot?" Because I don't think that that thing has. This is months ago, and they're like, "No, no, no, I did," and I'm like, "No." At the time, so is this even a real thing? Because it seems like the pre-sale was going on, and I was just convinced. I'm like, no pre-sale in history could possibly be this long. It's got to be bullshit, right? Like this can't be real. I looked at their website. I was never paid by them. I was never sponsored by them. I did look at their website, and it looked like tech that was absolutely insanely amazing. I was like, damn, this looks really freaking good. Like, you put on this whole suit that has all of these like sensors in it and stuff. Like, I'm sure you guys have been into VR. Like, if you have the goggles that you put on with the remotes, and if you play Beat Saber, that in of itself is absolutely amazing technology, and I can get lost in Beat Saber for hours or until the headset drains of battery. I love it. I absolutely love it. So the thought of having this suit that you could put on, that you would feel completely immersed in whatever environment that you were in the metaverse, I would be down with paying a few $1,000s for that suit. I mean, crap, I paid $400 for the headset and the the remotes, why wouldn't I pony up that much money for a whole complete suit, right? You know who would really buy that too? The pervs, the people who want to go into porn rooms there in the metaverse, get a lap dance by a lady. They 100% would buy that suit. So I thought, like, this is great. And then I was thinking, is it too soon? Like, could this technology possibly really exist right now? Is it available right now? Could they make that happen? Make that suit actually functional with the technology that we have? Maybe they can. I don't know. And I was thinking maybe it's too good to be true right now. Maybe it's too early. Maybe in like 10 years we'd be able to do that, but maybe not now. So let's see what they say. So I don't know. Is it launched? If the run guys are promoting it, I'm out. And it's funny you said I don't know who the run guys are. Terra and BTFA most tokens are all scams. Any tokens with taxes are scams. But wait a minute, because like the vast majority of tokens all have taxes, right? I think there's only the one token I know of that doesn't, and that's Koma Inu, and that one's not doing good right now. Damien, they get involved in the project before they go public. Then the run guys dump it. Their followers are their exit liquidity. Doesn't that suck? I don't even know who they are. I'm going to have to look them up. The Queen hold any assets on FTX? Fortunately, I do not. I never opened an FTX account. Here's my favorite guy right here, Matty B. Matty B, welcome to the stream. Poor Matty, he's been reaching out to me for so long going, why aren't you going live? What's going on? So Matty, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you so much, my friend, reaching out to me. You're the best. Queen, this is not good. No, Matty. Matty, this is not good. I think we can all agree. This is not good, right? Paying all those taxes to Uncle Sam is the real scam. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That is a long toilet flush, by the way. Like, that's low water pressure right there. But Damien, here's the thing. I guess this is the thing about taxes. If you want to live in a country that offers these things that we have, not that we have that much when you look at all of these other countries like France and Canada and England and the Netherlands, like all these places have free health care and we don't. I'm just saying. But we do have things that, Social Security, which we have to help out the elderly people that didn't start retirement accounts when they were young, right? So that's one of the things. Like, if you want to live in an evolved country that has these things, you've got to pay taxes, especially local taxes. If we didn't have local taxes, there'd be no fire department. Your house would just burn down. There'd be no police. The basic job of any government, well, really just the one job of government is to keep its citizens safe. That's really it. That's really it. If you want your roads paved and all this stuff, I know it's a crappy thing, but sometimes you got to I know listen, I know, I hear you. Yes, Luna 1 was launched, but it was a disaster. The starting price was so much lower than the pre-sale prices. No, are you kidding me? And everyone was, I bet it was. Queen, Italy is good. But Italy is good. Do they have healthcare? How much are their tax structure, I wonder? I made $10K on a run guy's call. Kuma Inu. Wow. Well, you are lucky, Dave, because you know what? From all of the comments that I've just read, it sounds like you very well might be the only one, right? or maybe you got in early enough. And that's the thing. If you get into certain things early enough, like there was like 2 weeks, and I'm ashamed to say this, there was like 2 weeks straight where I was going in and buying these tokens that, you know, they were just meant to be a rug. They would start them and the price would pump like 10,000%, and then I would just sell my tokens. I'd make like a couple $100 here and there. And then like I started to think about the ethics of it, and I was like, I felt bad about the people who were buying in as I was selling. And I was like, you know what? I don't need this couple of $100 so much that I have to take it from somebody else. So then I just decided to really not do that anymore, because it really wasn't fair to people. And it would stink because whenever I'm looking to buy into a token, I immediately go to the Telegram room to see what's going on. What are people talking about? What's this about? And the minute you sign in, everybody's like, "Oh, Tammy's here." And I don't want people to think just because I checked into a Telegram group that is lending that project legitimacy. I hate that. I really, really don't like that at all. Just because I'm in a Telegram group doesn't mean that I support that project. Maybe it means I just popped in there to see if this thing is just another rug, because there have been so many rugs in the past month. It's really disgusting. Queen, you look very nice. If I was a gay woman, I would queer you. Woo! Maddie! Maddie's so funny. Maddie knows, and it's just from being thank you, first of all, for saying I look nice. Thank you for being just a bystander in the chats. It's amazing some of the things I must have said on chat, because Maddie knows a lot about me, knows I'm gay. He knows I'm a pothead. I wonder what else Maddie knows. And when I say pothead, I mean, like, I don't smoke all the time, but I smoke. Hey. Hey, Crypto Queen, are you still a Xenu holder? I remember you liked the project. I still hold Xenu, but on Bitmart, not that much. It was always just like a little bit of a lottery ticket play, but their NFTs, I think, are really cool. I think out of everybody's NFTs, I like them the most. And I don't own any. They just look really cool. 1 out of 10 times, I'll get into a project and it will easily do a 10x with a low market cap of around 10 to 50K. Yeah, that's the thing. If you get into those babies early enough, like if you catch it just as soon as the influencers are just starting to push it on Twitter, you get in there early enough, you can make some pretty good money. But yeah, there are too many rugs in crypto. And that, right? Because those tokens are meant to rug. They're literally, and it makes me wonder, because I've heard there's a very small circle of people that are doing these rugs. It's just them. Like every week, they're launching 2 to 3 tokens just to pump and dump, pump and rinse and repeat. And that's all they're doing. And they're making off with a shit ton of money that these people who, let's say somebody's just new into cryptocurrency, okay? Because it happens every single day. Every single day, somebody new is getting into crypto, and they venture on over onto Twitter, and they'll see a lot of their favorite influencers talking about certain cryptocurrencies. Maybe these people don't know that a thing called a pump and dump even exists. They don't understand it. They don't know about not buying on green candles. They don't understand that when something has already 20,000 x'd, that it's only going to go down from there. Maybe they don't know. And this is their first venture in a cryptocurrency. They're like, "Oh, this thing is already pumping so high. I have to put all my money in." Let's say they just have like $1,000 in their DeFi wallet. Not that somebody just getting into crypto is going to have a DeFi wallet and understand how to use, you know, now I can't think of the name. The swaps. They don't understand how to use any of the swaps. Not that that's gonna happen, but let's say it happens and somebody does that, what a bad taste it's gonna leave in their mouth, like, this whole thing is a scam. They're gonna walk away from cryptocurrency thinking, "Everyone in TradFi is right. It is one big scam. There's no money to be made over there in cryptocurrency." So, these are the dangers of these rugs, turning people off and creating a bad name for cryptocurrency that we just don't need anymore. Like, we've already I can't tell you, people who have never heard of cryptocurrency or understand anything about cryptocurrency, they know who Sam Bankman-Fried is. That guy is all over the news. You know, that guy's cutting into my election coverage. I don't want to hear about Sam Bankman-Fried when I'm trying to find out who's taking over the House of Representatives. All right, Maddie, have a good one. Thanks for popping by, my friends. No, not much, but ready to send out the search. Crypto King. There's a Crypto King? Just put out a video saying Crow going bankrupt and collapsing. What the fuck? That is that true? Now I gotta go to hold on. Now I gotta go to Twitter and go to crypto.com. I don't know who the Crypto King is, but I mean, well, I have crypto.com. Like, I have a lot on crypto.com, actually. So, I mean, I'm not getting any notifications. There's nothing on their Twitter. Normally, they do put if something like that happened, they immediately would put something on their no, they just sent me a price alert about something. I don't think that that's true. Oh, okay, so you know what? We talked about this earlier in the night about Bitcoin. When Bitcoin hit that 16.8 mark, I was like, "Oh, that's so low," you know? Months ago, I actually thought that Bitcoin would go back down to 10,000. I'm like, "There's a very good chance Bitcoin is gonna go back down to 10,000." Like, it's sad but true, and I said that months ago. And a few weeks ago, I thought maybe I was wrong. I thought, "You know what? It looks like we're holding a pretty good floor in this area, bouncing anywhere between, like, the low 19s, high 18s, and the 22,000." Like, it would seem like there was some support in that very crucial area, and because of FTX, everything that happened, we did hit the 16.8 area. But you know what? I was saying that, I had spent $400 at the grocery store in 1 week. I don't have a big family. I got me, my girl, and some cats. That's what I got here. So for 2 people to just buy the basic necessities, $400, that's crazy. I used to be able to get no lie, I'd buy what we needed at Walmart. So that's like the big thing of Coke, the paper towels, the toilet paper, all the stuff. I would leave Walmart with a cart full of stuff for 200 bucks. That's how cheap everything was at Walmart. Incredibly cheap, right? I hardly had anything in the cart and it was $400. Now, if I sense that the economy is not getting better, I have no reason to believe that the bottom of the market is in yet. We could hit that 10,000 that I thought months and months ago would hit. So there's a chance it could go down to 10,000. So what is your decision from here? If you're somebody, let's say you, like, great example, Michael Saylor, right? You can't use a better example than this dude, Michael Saylor, because he has so many Bitcoins. MicroStrategy holds so many Bitcoins. And at the average that he's purchased Bitcoins, they started buying them up, when Bitcoin was like at 11,000. So he'd be still sweet right now, except for he bought an astronomical amount more Bitcoin when it was at the very height of the market. So his average buy for Bitcoin is $30,000. And he continues to buy Bitcoin to DCA that average, to try to get that average even lower and lower. And he's saying, I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin. I'm not doing anything with them. I'm just holding them because it's gold. It's better than gold. It is digital gold. And here we go from here. What do you do if you're Michael Saylor? Well, he's decided to continue to buy more Bitcoin, but where? So he just bought a bunch more Bitcoin when it was like at the $20,000 area. Now it's down low here. Where's he going to get more money? Because he's got a big loan out from Grayscale when he bought at the top of the market. I don't know where he got the loan last time to buy, but where do you decide to buy more Bitcoin now? Are you going to buy more here, or are you knowing and understanding the economy is not getting any better? Do you just ride it out to find the bottom? Because that's what I said I'm doing. I'm buying Bitcoin every single day because I have a $1 million Bitcoin challenge. Don't forget, I'm buying a little bit of Bitcoin every single day until I have, by 2030, they say a Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million per Bitcoin. But like I say, we don't know that for sure. This is just somebody's estimation, their guesstimation, and probably $1 million in 2030 is going to be worth probably $100,000 today. Who knows? What do you do, right? Do you stable coin all of your crypto? Do you just sell everything and move it on into a stable coin so that you don't lose any more value? You basically solidify your position right then and there. This is all the money I have. Because a couple of weeks ago, I looked at my holdings in crypto.com and it was worth a way lot more when we had that couple of days of good run. And now it's way, way down. Should I have just said screw it and turned all of that cryptocurrency into a stable coin, sold everything and just put it into USDC? Because I'd have way a lot more money now. Like that would have been the smart thing to do. But here we go. Where's your philosophy? I've already decided that I'm doing this. I'm doing the $1 million Bitcoin challenge and I'm just DCAing into Bitcoin. And I have money set aside, like some capital reserve set aside for if and when Bitcoin does hit that $10,000 mark, mama's going to get a Bitcoin. One whole Bitcoin. I'm just going to scoop it up with the holdings that I currently already have in Bitcoin and just spend what I need to get a Bitcoin. If it hits that area, if it continues to go down, I'm buying just to reach my Bitcoin challenge. So hopefully that will be the situation for me. Oh, he's trying to scare people. Why would he do that? Hey, I'm holding cash on the side for the next leg down. Plus, I'll be doing my 10x new low cap project and cash out before they rug to get more capital. That 100K Bitcoin for 2030 price prediction, you have thoughts on XRP? Well, with everything that's going on with XRP, the lawsuits and we just don't know, right? We have to wait and see, but it doesn't hurt to hold it in a wallet like anything, right? I bet Do Kwon has a room for SBF. Oof. There is only one stable coin. It's Bitcoin. LOL. The irony, you will get your Bitcoin by early spring. We should see the bottom. Wait a second. There is only one stable coin. It's Bitcoin. LOL. The irony, you will get your Bitcoin by early spring. we should see the bottom. You think the bottom is going to happen in the spring? That's the bottom? That's when you think the bottom will be? Because spring's a long way away. And it's just dawning on me that, yes, it's already November. And, one of my favorite songs, November Rain by Guns N' Roses. It's November. Could it be spring? I don't know. I don't know if the well, you know what? You could be right. You could be right because the economy, hmm, if we could just get this inflation problem, something I want to let you know, you guys know I'm a little older, probably older than all of you. Um, when I was young, the interest rates were right about where they are now. When you got a loan, whenever you bought something, you expected the interest rates to be about 5 or 6%. That was the norm, but because of the financial collapse of 2008 and everything that was going on, they moved all of the interest rates to this, like, basically very low position. These were unprecedented rates. Unprecedented. So when people say, "Oh my gosh, the interest rates are so high, it's the cause of inflation," I want you guys to understand. Oh, my camera went out again. The rates that you're seeing right now, this is what I would call a market correction. This is what they should have been all along. This is where the interest rate should have been for years. They should have started pushing up the interest rates. And I hate to say it, but 2016, when the economy was better, a lot better, they should have been pushing up the interest rates. This way, when the economy goes bad, like it is right now, we have wiggle room in order to lower the interest rates. That's the way it's supposed to be. But now it's ass backwards. And how just the government has taken over our lives and control every aspect of it, and everything that these lawmakers do and push in order to what they say correct the market, it makes it worse. And do you know why? A lot of these guys got their education in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and they learned about old economy. It's the new economy. That shit doesn't work anymore. You can't work with textbooks from the 70s. That's not working for the economy that we have today. So when you do things like quantitative easing, believing that you're going to help out the economy, you actually make it worse. Sure, you make the economy better for the ultra wealthy people, but you hurt the middle class and you actually push a lot of middle class people into the poverty, into the poverty lines. That's not good. That's not good at all. I wish they would just stop it because what they do is they cause just a huge look. All of the tax breaks that they now you guys know I'm very conservative when it comes to certain things with politics, nothing social. But they did everything wrong, everything that President Trump said he was going to do. He didn't do it, right? He said he was going to scare big business and, take on these dirty corporations and drain the swamp and everything. He did none of that. He had the wealthiest cabinet in the history. Everybody who was in there was already in there. They were embedded in it. Like all he did was add to the swamp. He gave huge the trick of the Republican Party now is only to give tax breaks, and it doesn't really work. Not in this economy, because look what freaking happened when he gave the tax breaks to those companies. What they were supposed to do was invest in their infrastructure, hire more people, and that was going to help the economy. And when the guy was in the room saying, "Okay, what are you guys going to do with your tax cuts? You're going to hire more people, right? Raise your hand if you're hiring more people." Out of the room of, I think there was like 60 CEOs that were sitting there, 2 of them raised their hands. And the guy was stunned. He couldn't believe it. He's like, "Wait, what's you're not gonna hire more people?" No. That maybe that worked in the '60s, it doesn't work for today. When they get money, they're doing stock buybacks. They're getting rid of people because 'cause they're buying machinery to automate their lines. This is what happens. They're not You guys, it doesn't work. I just wish the government would stay the hell out of big business, out of any business. Just stay away from it. Don't do this quantitative easing because it never freaking works. They ruin it. They really did. Again, listen, people, everybody, you need to read this book. It's called Atlas Shrugged. It's by Ayn Rand. I've read this book probably 10 times altogether in my life. It's a really good book anyway, but it's a good read. There's some sexuality in there. I was like, "Ooh, Ayn Rand, you go, girl, with yourself." Oh, okay. Ponzi's back. Here we go. Ponzi, come on. Ponzi, I still just don't understand why he does this. Ponzi. I don't know why this guy hates me, you guys. I have no idea why. Oh, I love that book. I have it on audiobook. I should get it on audiobook too, but there's something to be said about just sitting down on your couch and curling up with a cup of coffee and a book and just holding the book in your hand and, writing on the book and making notes and doing stuff like that. I'm a nerd like that. Bone, Shiba Swap, and Volt are ones I like. So, yep. Shiba Inu, let me tell you something. If I had to, come on, why you gotta be like that with Rodney? I thought you really liked Rodney now. No, come on, Ponzi, Pons, come on, be nice to me. Oh, um, I don't like Shiba Inu. I'm just gonna say it. I know there's a lot of people out there that love Shiba Inu, and Shiba probably got a lot of people into cryptocurrency. It did. There was a big row for it last year. It brought a lot of people into crypto, but it's not holding its value, right? Because of what they've done. Had they used Shiba to do everything, then we'd be in a very different situation right now. But now they've brought Bone and Leash. Those are going to be the tokens that are valuable, not Shiba. Ponzi. Ponzi, why don't you like me? I still cannot figure it out. Here goes. So when he puts a comment in, I try to, and it doesn't always work for StreamYards, but I try to, put him in timeout, and you can't. That is actually pretty funny, but I guess what I can. That was pretty funny. What do I think about ADA? Okay, so it's not that I don't like Cardano. It's not that I don't like the dev. It's not that I don't think he's smart. I just think there's a lot of competition out there, and I think that, it's I just don't know. I hold a lot of ADA on a lot of different exchanges. I think I probably hold it the most on Webull, but I bought in. Let me just put it this way. I had to seriously DCA into ADA, but I'm seriously pumping the brakes when it comes to certain things. When it comes to, I don't know how to say this without saying, I'm sure you know who Alex Becker is, right? He hates Cardano. He constantly calls Cardano the redheaded stepchild. seriously, seriously mean about Cardano. I don't think that it's as bad as what Alex Becker thinks, but I don't think it's as great as a lot of other people think. I'm gonna wait to buy any more Cardano. I do hold it. I'm not selling it, but I'm not gonna buy any more of it until the next bull run. I'm just gonna wait and see where it takes me on the next bull run because I know their fees are super cheap, but they don't have that much traffic. Not a lot of people are utilizing Cardano. I mean, it's a fact. They need a lot more projects to be on Cardano. They need, listen, they got super cheap fees, but they need people to participate in the project in order to make it work, and nobody is. It's like they built this super highway and cars haven't been invented yet, is almost what it feels like. Who cares what Becker thinks or anyone else thinks? There are facts. Okay. Well, you're right. Like, he's funny though when it comes to Cardano because he does really go after them hard. So some of the things he does say are funny, but I definitely am waiting to buy any more. We need more traffic on that one is all I'm gonna say. Russ's shirt. Is that Ponzi again? Cosmos is the way. Oh, Ponzi. I don't even know who Tom Hill is, but I'm serious. I have to mute that because that's rude. Oof. On your mom. I've almost been live for 2 hours and it's so funny because usually when Ponzi pops in, that's what the time to leave because for whatever reason he doesn't wind up showing up until I'm like almost done. And to this day, I still don't know why Ponzi hates me. But that's okay. Don't treat this troll. He will disappear by himself. No, you don't know. He won't disappear. He's going to come right back 100%. You wait and see. How is someone spamming your account? You have a serious stacker. LOL, funny, but not really. That's Ponzi. He's from Twitter. He also has his own YouTube channel and he goes after a lot of different people and sometimes he's just rude about people like this. Bree is the sweetest person in the world and I don't know why he's done this to her because I thought he was friends with Bree and Rodney. So really why he's doing this, I don't know why, but it's Ponzi. I thought you were friends with Rodney again and Rodney and Bree are pretty tight. So I don't know why you would do that to her. That sucks. Like, I get you don't like me, that's clear, but, holding 800K SHIB, and I'm done with crypto. Well, I hope SHIB gets to that price for you. I don't even remember where I first bought into Shiba. I think it might have been probably where it is right about now. And if it goes back to the all-time high, where was it? I think it was like $80 per million. Shiba's all-time high. It would be super nice to get back there, wouldn't it? But I don't think that not that I don't think it will ever happen, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, and it definitely won't happen. Listen to this very closely. It definitely won't that I have no idea how that happened. I hit something on my mouse and it took me out of the studio. So I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be like I said before, if they hadn't made Bone and Leash, of course, Shiba would have been more valuable. If they had used that as their governance, of course, it would have been way more valuable. But dude, when you start bringing all of these other tokens into your ecosystem, making them basically the ether of your blockchain, of course, that's what people are going to buy. What is the use of Shiba at this point? What's it for? What are we using it for? It stinks. Oh, look at the flex. Look at the flex. I have 4 Bitcoins, bought them back in 2020 and have not sold any, and I'll give them to my grandchildren one day. Good for you. And tell the stories of how Bitcoin overcame all the chaos. That is so awesome. And yes, like you, I do believe in Bitcoin. I think that really that is the big cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that I'm a Bitcoin maxi, that I'm saying this is the only cryptocurrency, this is the only real cryptocurrency, but I do believe in Bitcoin as a stored value, and it's the most valuable one, right? It's the most valuable one. And there's a finite amount of Bitcoin, and that's what makes it so special. And thank you to Satoshi for making it, right? Well, you know what? It's like I've been live for almost 2 hours. Is it 2 hours? No. An hour and 40 minutes. That's enough. Well, let me get out of here before Ponzi comes back. But I thank you guys so much for joining me on this live stream. I know it's been a minute, and I'm going to try to come back tomorrow because I want to make a nice video about something. I can't tell you what it is. Not a sponsored video, but something. All right. Well, that's going to do it here for me today. I hope you have a great, awesome weekend. I hope you didn't get screwed with FTX. I am so sorry if you had anything over there, but because like I said, that's not what an exchange is supposed to do. So I hope nobody got hurt that's in here now, but I thank everyone for joining me, and I will catch you next time, guys. Take care.